The annual White House Correspondents' Dinner held Saturday in Washington, D.C. was not lacking pro-Hamas protesters. Several hundred were on hand chanting outside the Washington Hilton.
Shame on you for breaking bread! Shame on you! Shame on you!
That's how the journalists were welcomed as they tried to make their way into the venue. Code Pink, a nonprofit organization, announced their plan to protest earlier in the week. Here is Joe Biden, as expected, taking a shot at Donald Trump.
And yes, age is an issue. I'm a grown man running against a 6-year-old.
And then this from comedian Colin Jost.
The last time I was in D.C., I left my cocaine at the White House. Luckily, the president was able to put it to good use for his State of the Union.
Former President Trump's legal trials were also the brunt of quite a few jokes, as expected. And law enforcement officers disbanded a pro-Hamas encampment at a major university in Boston on Saturday morning after reports of anti-Semitic chants, including "Kill the Jews."
Who do you protect? Who do you serve? Who do you protect?
According to the Daily Caller, Northeastern University campus police, along with officers from other departments, intervened to dismantle that encampment. The university says authorities began to remove the encampment after learning that it had been infiltrated by outside protesters. The university condemned the use of hateful language and emphasized a zero-tolerance policy for such behavior on campus. Similar encampments have been set up by students at colleges nationwide, with some, like Columbia University in New York, experiencing instances of blatant anti-Semitism. Greg.
Well, an economics professor shouted her way through a dramatic arrest on Emory University's campus in Atlanta on Friday.
I am a professor! This is an Emory professor, everyone! I am a professor of economics!
Watch as police tackle Caroline Foland to the ground before putting her in handcuffs. Officers say she was taken into custody for interfering while police were arresting a protester. In a later video, Foland appears to admit that she assaulted a police officer, though not in those exact words.
Impulsively hit him on the head very lightly to get his attention, and they grabbed me, threw me to the ground, and arrested me.
The Emory professor was charged with disorderly conduct and simple battery of an officer. Foland's attorney, Gregory Clement, says she was not there as part of the protest and that she was concerned about the treatment of the students on the quad. Joining us now is America's Constitution coach, Victory News contributor Rick Green. Rick, welcome to Victory News.
Greg, good morning.
Well, we now have professors like the one we just saw from Emory University spouting anti-Semitism. As things continue to spiral into chaos, consider this comment, if you would, from the United Arab Emirates foreign minister from 2017.
There will come a day that we will see far more radical extremists and terrorists coming out of Europe because of lack of decision-making, trying to be politically correct, or assuming that they know the Middle East and they know Islam and they know the others far better than we do.
Well, it's like this foreign minister is a prophet or something. Noted attorney Alan Dershowitz believes the Columbia University protesters will become terrorists. Your reaction to all of this?
Yeah, Greg, I find myself checking my temperature when I agree with Dershowitz, but absolutely agree with him on that. And of course, you have the convergence here of, unfortunately, an evil perfect storm, which is the open border that's allowed for a lot of terrorists to come across the border. We don't know who they are and where they are. And then you have this 50 years of this poison being poured into the minds of these kids on college campuses. What these professors are now displaying for the world is what they've been doing in the classroom for decades. So they've raised up a generation that is now siding with pro-terrorist, pro-Hamas, pro-death people. And unfortunately, that's been happening on our college campuses for a long time. And notice the elitism that runs through the stories you just shared, Greg. The DA, I'm the DA. The professor, I'm a professor. These people think the rules do not apply to them. We saw it, of course, throughout COVID. Now we're seeing it on the college campuses. I think it's waking up a lot of Americans, but man, we've got some real problems to deal with at this point. If I could, Greg, just to say thank you for covering the tornadoes and the horrific stuff that's happening. Our friend Hank Kuhneman is helping. I encourage people to go to Lord of Hosts Church. Go to their website at Lord of Hosts in Omaha. They're getting help to the people in need right away.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. We're definitely at the end of the newscast. We're going to pray concerning all the storms and more that are scheduled to happen. Now, OnlyFans creator Farah Khalidi says she was paid by the Biden administration to spread, quote, political propaganda because they wanted someone with darker skin fronting Biden. Here it is.
I think I was taking ads by the time I graduated college from like the Biden administration and Planned Parenthood and like dating apps and stuff. So it was like fully financially sustaining.
So you were getting, the Biden administration was buying ads from you?
Yeah, I was doing full-on political propaganda.
Rick, they told her not to disclose her videos were actually ads. Are you surprised at this new campaign tactic?
Not at all, man. We tried to point this out even throughout COVID, whether it was with the jab or the other things that they were trying to push through all of these influencers, these social influencers and these different outlets. And of course, they're racist. We know that they've been that. The Democrat Party has been the racist party forever. So they see things through the lens or the paradigm of color of skin instead of content of character, which is evil and wrong and anti-biblical. But we know that's them. And we also know that they will funnel that money behind the scenes. The corruption is there without a doubt. And just as she said, it's political propaganda. The problem is the viewer or the person that's seeing these ads, they don't know that. And so they think it's just literally, oh, that's that person's opinion. That means a lot to me. And so it's deceptive, it's fraudulent, and it's what evil people do.